you're raising a genuine issue?
Well, politicking is another issue, but governance issues are different from politicking. The issues that we are raising here are traceable. We don't raise issues that are not in any book or prescript or policies that are within the institution. And you know, I would have loved to see them here, sharing this stage together with me so that we can, you know, inform the public as to what is it that we are saying which makes them believe, or the public believe, that we are politicking in what we are doing. Let me just give you an example. You know, the issue of the organizational design of the police. If someone comes up, because I heard, that's where I heard the minister's office saying that we are being myopic, you know, when we are raising genuine issues, you know. If we say the organizational structure of the police need to be consulted upon, is that wrong? Is there anything wrong with that?
Are you not consulted?
No.
Why?
Maybe it's because of the facts that you raised earlier on, that we are non-partisan. We're not part of the alliances and all that.
But how many members do you represent?
More than 80,000. It's sufficient membership that we have in the institution.
And the other union?
I'm not so sure.
Do you represent the majority?
We are in a minority to them, but tell me, in South African environment, the views of the minority and the majority must be heard. Both of them, we have to balance that. And the issues that you raise are very important in building society and building government as well.
Okay.
Because what we do as a union, we are not raising it for our benefit. What will I benefit if I criticize the National Commissioner for doing something good or bad? What will I benefit from that? Nothing.
Okay.
We are only trying to assist the police to function fully and make sure that South Africans get the best out of the police.
Okay. We're going to talk about that when we return. This is Question Time. Please don't go away.
There's a champion in all men. They have skill and courage. They have power. They have spirit. And they deserve their reward. Carling Black Label. Champion men deserve champion beer.
With so many bad incidents happening around us, we continue sourcing, unpacking and televising nation-building and compassionate stories. From the nation's pride, those who go all out, top achievers, hard workers, those dedicated to making this country a better place, and unusual friendships. Catch all these and more on SABC News.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. Pokwinika is the president of the South African Police Union, and he joins us today right here on Question Time. Now, what needs to be done to curb the violence which police have allegedly been meting out to citizens?
Look, when they decentralized specialized units such as public order policing was done away with. Units such as family violence and child protection unit were done away with.
No.
Now I want to give you facts.
But those units that you're talking about are still there. I mean,
no,
we hosted the child protection unit here, social violence.
But how did they come back? because they weren't here. How did they come back? It is because we went out there and we made noise about it.
Yeah, but then don't say they no longer exist.
No. I said in 2006,
Okay.
when they decentralized them,
Yeah.
they've done away with them.
Okay.
We, together with other interested parties, made so much noise about it to say that South Africans are being given, this is a great disservice to the South Africans, because these units had a specific job to do. Public order policing. Here, you need to know exactly that South Africans have got the right to assemble and demonstrate, but with the element of peace. And it is not all policemen and women.
But also legally.
That's what I'm saying. Legal. That is a constitutional right. That's why it's legal as well. Unless if they do it with an element of violence, then the police comes in. And the structure that is trained well to deal with this kind of acts is the public order policing. They have re-established, I'm happy to say this, re-established public order policing, but centralized it. You cannot centralize a unit such as that one when in South Africa you have got sporadic, events of service delivery protest, civil unrest that comes up as a result of labor unrest and all that. You cannot do that. You cannot centralize it, because once you centralize it, you are now going to become reactionaries. You are only going to react to issues that are taking place outside. Just like what we saw happening outside. An incident has to take place first. Then the police are being deployed. That is being reactive, other than to do a proactive work. Public order policing has the capacity to draw its own intelligence within the communities that they are serving. But if they are centralized in Pretoria and you have to deploy them in Mototlung, you are deploying them in an environment where they don't even have eyes and ears. But whereas if you have decentralized them and they have been operating there long, they would have been managed to gather their own intelligence and even know of issues or events that are going to take place the following day and deploy police officers earlier than the people they could even gather.
Yeah, but how possible is that to deploy each and every sector, like you're saying, at all police centers or community service centers, as they are called? I mean, you don't necessarily have all your units in police stations.
No, but look, public order policing used to work in an area in the past when they do away with them. Now they introduce things called clusters.
Yes.
Now in an area you've got more than one cluster, but you need to have that unit placed in one of the clusters which you may think it is bigger than the other cluster.
Okay.
And it must operate from that cluster. It means it will have to take care of the businesses of crowd controls in the environment, including the other the clusters that are there.
Okay. Now, tell me, are your members adequately trained?
In what?
Well, let's say criminal investigation procedures, crime scene management. I mean, we saw one policeman agreeing to have messed up the crime scene in one of the cases that are coming. Well, it's still prejudicial, but the Oscar Pistorius matter comes to mind.
Look, I think the defense team in any cases or criminal cases in court, they have a tendency, and I think that is their strength, of trying to fight the credibility of the investigating officer. And I think they succeeded in that case, which you just referred to.
Is he not your member?
He's our member.
So why are you defending him?
I cannot defend a member's credibility. The members have got the duty to make sure that they are, they work within the ethics of this or the ethics standards of the institution.
So would you defend him if he had indeed messed up the crime scene?
Look, if you have been charged with a misconduct.
No, not necessarily. I mean, okay, he's facing other criminal matters, I guess, which then, just confuses a whole lot of things. But, I mean, if we were to take him just as an example, where officers at that level still, afford to interfere with a crime scene like that, then there's a serious problem. Well, not necessarily facing your union, but the police force in general.
There are two scenarios here. The one is a criminal charge. If it's charged criminally, he has the responsibility himself to make sure that he provides himself with the legal services that will help him.
Okay.
But if it is an issue of misconduct, unions have a responsibility to look after those, to look after their members.
Okay.
And if that member was our member, we're going to represent him in a misconduct or a departmental hearing.
Another issue has been interviewing of witnesses and interrogation of suspects. It seems police always go, overboard, using tactics that are no longer legal.
Look, I think we need to, this is one sensitive environment that I'm really going to touch on today. You see, crime intelligence is not their job to investigate crime.
Yeah.
It's not their job. Their job is to gather information for a successful prosecution in court.
Yes.
They provide support to departments such as detective services. They don't carry R5s. They don't drive around with BMWs with blue lamp flashing around. It's not their job. Because they have to operate underground. Departments that are operating in the open, such as detective services, are the units that are supposed to be doing, if it comes to issues of investigations of crime that has been committed, doing in the interrogations and interviewing. Remember, interview and interrogation are two phases of wanting to know information from a person.
Sure.
Interviewing phase is a user-friendly type of a discussion with your suspect or an alleged person who is said to have committed an offense. But an interrogation process is an intense, way of getting information from the person. Intense. Okay.
I want us to talk more about this organized crime and crime intelligence only after the break. This is Question Time. Please don't go away. We'll return shortly.
SABC News plays a critical role in providing unbiased and reliable news. We have
President of
content. We continue to provide unrivaled coverage of vital events in and out of the country. Wherever the news is happening, we'll be there to bring them to you at the right time. No one has the news covered like SABC News. We lead and they follow. SABC News, Africa's news leader.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. My guest is Mpho Gwiniga, is the president of the South African Policing Union. Organized crime and crime intelligence. It's a hot potato in South Africa. And it actually has a lot of politics in it as well. Does it have a head now?
Which one?
I'm talking about nationally, organized crime and crime intelligence. Is there a head?
They have identified one who is leading now the crime intelligent environment. I'm told she's coming from protection services and all that. I don't have much information about her. Organized crime, I think currently it is under the Hawks.
Okay.
And then they have got I think the values or the threshold, terms of reference to say a crime of this value, it can be investigated by the normal commercial crimes that are there, but of above this value, it must go over to the Hawks.
Okay. Now, as Sapu, are you happy with the crime intelligence division of the SAPS?
Not happy at all.
Why?
Because they are being utilized for political reasons. I would love to say this. In an intelligent world, you don't even mention the name. We don't even mention the name of a person who is investigating or gathering information relating to a certain crime that is even in the public domain.
Yeah.
Recent papers have been indicating the name of a person who is coming from, crime intelligent environment. And I also believe, I read the newspaper that was covering that story, and that incumbent also commented, publicly. It is unheard of. Crime intelligence needs to be revamped completely.
Okay.
Crime intelligence needs to go back to the basics. They have got the terms of reference under which they have to operate.
Okay.
Because if they don't do that, South Africa will continue and experience the problems that we are having today in this land. I don't want to fear the police. And I feel the same with the public, that they should not fear the police. But the current, problem that we have in this country is that everyone fears the police, and especially crime intelligence. Not for good reasons, but for bad reasons. So,
but is it not good that people should fear law enforcement agencies, that they should not commit crime?
not a democratic setup. In a democratic environment, the public tells the police what they want. The police need to devise mechanisms and put systems in place which will not compromise the actual policing in the country.
Okay.
That rests with the people, with the police themselves. So you cannot have the police that is most feared for the sake of deterring them from committing offenses. There are better methods to do that than to do what they're doing now.
What is your feeling as Sapu regarding this high-profile cases that are going on now? Your Rodovan is one that comes to mind. There's a whole lot of independent consultants that are said to be bringing in information and all that. Where are your members, in this instance, who are supposed to be doing the actual work? Are they replaced?
I think maybe it is a sign that the police are now unable to do their job. People don't have faith in them anymore. They don't have trust in them. That is why now the private industry, private security industry, is doing very well in this instance. You look at the case of Kuluchana, the description of the bullets, where they were coming from. They are drawn by an independent person, other than our own forensic departments having to come out with this kind of information. So hence we are calling, hence we have issued a statement to say that policing in this country is in a terrible decline.
Actually, you had some support from COSATU in the Northwest. Solipitwe said regarding the Mututlang incidents, they were actually calling for an independent investigation into the independent police investigation, if I may call it that way. Because they're saying that the police's independent arm cannot independently investigate. Therefore, they want another independent investigation into this subject. So there's so much independence that is required here.
Look, we have even gone to an extent of requesting, the minister and even the National Commission, I think this is documented, to say, look, there are problems in the police. We keep on pointing fingers here, we're pointing fingers there. We were saying that, and are still saying that the command and control in the police is very poor. I applaud those managers in the police who are doing an exceptional work. And we as the South African Police Service says they should continue and do a good job. But there are those people who are in very strategic positions, who are supposed to be giving strategic directions into the system, into the institution. And those people, we think they're failing the police.
Okay.
Hence, we have requested that we have the Commission of Inquiry, an independent Commission of Inquiry, which is similar to the one which was established at the Correctional Services, which was referred to as Jali Commission, which came up with problems and even solutions as to how to address those issues that are reflected in that report.
Okay. Tell me something here. Do you have a policy as Sapu on the physical fitness of police officers? There's lots of fat people there.
Look, we are a union. Our job is not to manage the service. It is the prerogative of the management, to manage the service. Our job is to assist in providing, support in terms of, what do you call this, advising them to say, but what is it that we are to do, you know, in a situation like this?
No, you know what they have to do. They have to exercise.
No, not only that. They must also eat very healthily. You know, there are a lot of issues that, because you can exercise if your diet is not in order, you will still remain fat. But what we wanted to see happening in the police is to see the refresher courses in the police continuing. Okay. You understand? Without them saying that we cannot do this because of the budget constraints. They need to prioritize these issues. There's no fat cop who can chase a suspect who is as lean as yourself and succeed in chasing that person.
You've just given me reason not to go to the gym.
No.
That was question time for today. We would like to hear from you. Our email address is questiontime@sabc.co.za. Our Twitter handle @questiontime24. Let's meet again next time, and thank you to my guest, Paul, the President of Sapu. Thank you so much.